Hello, welcome to the Walking Dead Telltale Definitive Series Developers Commentary for Walking Dead Season 4. My name is Kent Mutil, I am the creative director of the final season, and with me I have...
Gideon Adlon, I play Violet.
Chris Rebert, I'm the supervising season director.
And I am Melissa Hutchison, and I play Clementine.
All right. All these excellent people. So we are going to play through some of Season 4 and sort of talk about the experiences of making it and other fun behind-the-scene tidbits as we go through. And just like in the game, we will probably curse like sailors. So if you needed to be braced for that, please do now.
Exit
guaranteed.
now. Leave.
You can never save everyone.
Okay, so right off the bat, I just want to talk about this thing. So this comic book intro that we made was a huge hassle to make. We got, I think we got an artist who, I think they had worked with Skybound at some point previously, but basically we gave them a bunch of images from the season of like framings that we wanted them to create, and then they drew that stuff, and then we gave them to another artist to run through sort of like motion graphics, and we went back and forth with them on the style and like how these camera moves worked for like what felt like months. And yeah, this looks really cool, and it was also a huge challenge to try to summarize the entire season, 3 previous seasons of The Walking Dead in like 2 minutes.
It looks amazing. When I saw it, I mean, it was just so standout to how the other seasons have started. I think it's really cool.
I remember I drew a very specific storyboard for that creepy little thing where Lily looks up with her eyes, and they got it exactly right.
It's really
That's
cool.
really badass. I don't know, I love this. I love how it looks flat, but it's not flat. It's just like, it's so fresh, you know? For a video game to look like this.
We made a video version of this for the web, which was like on the cool like make your own Clementine website thing. And that was just straight up in After Effects and looked gorgeous and amazing because After Effects is a powerful editing software. The tool is, the Telltale tool that this was made in is not a powerful piece of editing software with After Effects capabilities. So we had to have our poor UI artist Adrian recreate it in our engine, moving pieces around and trying to recreate what the other guy did, and it was super hard.
There was a woman who gave birth to a boy named Alvin Jr.
I remember I added this bit with Rebecca really late because I was like, oh yeah, people need to know where AJ
Yeah,
came
you
from.
have
They
to
probably
have
they probably forgot
backup
where
bit.
AJ came from in the first place.
Where the hell did AJ even come from?
I
remember you giving a lot of notes on the perfect timing of her zombie face coming down into frame as well.
It needed to be perfect.
See, I feel privileged sitting here because I watch this stuff and I'm just like, I just take it for granted. This is just so easy.
This is so hard. What do you choose?
I'm gonna shoot
Well,
Kenny.
What? No.
You've already,
no,
you've
that
already
was,
lost
no.
a
Oh
fan.
no, it's
Kent.
already gone so
I'm out.
bad.
That's it.
Sorry.
Oh, God.
That's okay. No wrong choices.
It's okay. We'll leave Jane behind too. I think
Yeah.
alone Clementine
To hell with
who
her.
gets shit done for herself is
That's
the true
right.
Clementine.
Although she is
Goodbye.
badass. Bye, Jane.
Bye.
Bye.
I went on alone. Yes, you did.
She's crazy, insane.
Young mother.
Yeah, she's like 12 or something at this point, and
Yeah,
she took
she's
the
a
infants.
mom.
Yeah.
I don't know how she fed him.
And left them behind. AJ and I traveled to a new frontier. I thought we.
The unfortunate thing about this thing being so expensive, I really wanted to get a frame of Javi in here, and we literally were just out of like budget for like a shot of
You're
this.
right. You have David, is that Dr. Feel? I call him Dr. Feelgood. What's his actual name?
That's his name.
Voiced by Yuri Lowenthal. The doctor.
He was
you
voiced by
know.
Yuri Lowenthal?
Yeah,
I did
totally.
not know that.
I'm totally spacing on the doctor's name. That's horrible.
Lingard.
Thank you.
Dr.
Paul
Lingard.
Lingard.
I searched for a long time.
The AJ here and the AJ that's also in the promo image for the season is clearly before I understood how AJ was, because he looks like a scared little baby. When
Yeah.
instead he should be glaring at those walkers with the fury of 1,000 suns.
Yeah.
Because he actually is a big murder baby.
You big murder
Big fat
baby.
murder baby.
Hunting with my life. Just like Lee did for me.
The car is actually called the Barbelak, is the model of the car, and that's named after the lawyer. It's also
Slash
lawyer.
voice actor.
Yeah, and
He
voice
was
actor.
also, he's done a lot. He was the sheriff driving Lee
Yep, the first
to
person.
prison in the first episode.
That's an ironic parallel considering the scene is basically like the opening of season 1.
Oh, right.
He was also the first voice actor in Walking Dead, and the last one we ever recorded.
I don't like goofball. I'm too good for it.
How about Shitbird?
It's my favorite one here. It's like a Kenny callback too.
No.
I don't think that started as a Kenny callback. I think designer Michael Kirkbride just wrote the word shitbird because it just came out of
It
his
sounds
soul.
like something he would say.
You're a shitbird.
I think he's called me a shitbird many times.
I'm gonna call everybody a shitbird now.
Shitbird.
It's iconic, like many iconic Kenny insults.
Yeah, but it's way more interesting than saying asshole. It's like, you're shitbird, and then they're like, what?
Shitbird.
And they just walk away.
There's a fun Easter egg here too. I don't know if you can see it on the manual, but it says it's like the St. John's Culinary magazine, which is a callback to the Cannibal Brothers from season
the
1.
Flesh eaters.
Want to eat me? Is that true? Do you want to eat me?
Hey, Chris Rebert, what's the deal with disco broccoli?
Disco Broccoli, oddly enough, I invented when I was 9 years old and put him in the game, assuming that somebody would rewrite the scene, and that never happened.
Thank God. That's amazing.
That was exactly what I thought was going to happen, and apparently, I remember
I definitely wanted
it
to cut
became
him.
like a big thing about in
At
the
first.
office, and then I remember when Kent first rolled on, I saw his notes document, and he was like, "What the hell's up with all these vegetable jokes?"
How did you come up with disco broccoli?
I don't know. I think I just saw a piece of broccoli and drew it and put a disco suit on it, and it became like a invention when I was 9 years old. There are so many more Disco Broccoli characters than are in the game.
Did you? Well, that's what I was gonna ask. Did you come up with Beat Nick?
Yes.
You did.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, all
As a
those.
kid?
That was my pet project on this project, that I would stay late and
You're
throw
brilliant.
names at Kent, and he'd be like, "What's wrong with you?"
Oh, you came up with those now. Those are Disco Broccoli's
Some of
the only
them-
one from childhood.
There was actually a couple. I think all these were new, but the other ones when I was a kid was like
Calypso cauliflower.
Punk Rock Pork Chop was one.
That one was on the list
pork
as like
chop.
the weird, like, doesn't belong in the group one because she goes her own way. For some reason,
That's
they
why
only
she's
beat-
punk rock.
I see. That's what punk is.
I want to see that.
I'm a punk rock pork chop.
We'll get you a Punk Rock Pork Chop.
Be a really good name for either a band or an album.
Punk rock
Title.
pork chop!
That's exactly her. And now we know who voices Punk Rock Pork Chop.
Yeah, exactly. You just booked the gig.
Just do Violet
Hey.
doing like her deepest possible voice.
We gonna do it?
Think so.
Looks clear.
We're doing it.
All the physical design changed. Basically, I think the main thing was that AJ just got aged up.
That's right.
When this scene was
AJ
first
got
designed,
aged up.
he was like 3 years old, and the big choice of the scene was like, do I leave him in the car while I look for food? Or is that safe?
Oh, wow.
And then that ended up being not as good of an idea as,
Was
as we thought.
was some
We will
of
talk about. I'll click on him.
So did AJ get aged up because they wanted him to speak, have a bigger presence and speaking role?
The first iteration of this story, when I rolled onto the project, AJ was barely a character. He was actually still kind of just a MacGuffin.
interesting.
And at that time, the leadership on the project was really not interested in making him a character. They were trying to find ways to get him to sort of just leave the story.
Oh,
He wasn't really going to be a thing. So, but once we soon decided to make it a thing, I think Kirkbride might have had the idea, and I think weirdly Chris had the same idea earlier, to make him sort of a capable little war child. And to make that believable, we literally had to sort of scale him up from 3 to 6.
yeah. Well, and Taylor she kills it
And she was originally
just-
cast as 10, which is weird.
Oh, really?
Before when AJ was like
Interesting.
not as big a part of the story.
Whoa.
And 10 was cast as AJ, right?
Maybe. Yeah,
Because
I
like,
don't remember.
Yeah.
But he definitely sounds like at least 10-year-old kid. 10, I would think. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do I know?
I'm just gonna marvel for 1 second. Oh my god, it's a Telltale game where you can spin the camera around. This was such a big deal.
I
at the
know.
time.
I remember going
our,
to all
like-
those conventions at
Took
E3.
45 engineers to get this far.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
What?
I
No,
kept,
I'm
I
just
kept talking at E3.
Yeah.
It took probably like 5 engineers. Because our games were like these like point and click things where you move around in a kind of a set camera angle. Also, the real-time combat. It's really simple, but man, did it take a lot of work.
It's down. Still with me?
Still here. No bites.
Next, we get in there.
The one thing I really want to do out here is I want to go get the skull.
collectibles.
It's mine, my
Yes.
collectible. I hid them all. That was one of the things I did myself.
Gotta
That
go
was
get
one
that
of-
skull. Oh wait, where's she gonna put it though?
I don't know.
Where's she gonna? She's gonna pick it up and she's gonna carry it around with her.
I mean, due to the magic of
Interesting.
cameras, who
She's
knows?
just going to drop it on the ground,
She's gonna put it on her head.
and it's going to disappear. Now she has it.
She just has it now.
Yeah,
I love.
that's how video games work. Just in her
It's just
inventory.
in her backpack.
Yeah, clearly.
There's one part in episode 2.
You've collected deer skulls. Somehow it fit in there.
There's one part in episode 2 where Clementine talks to herself if AJ leaves the room, and I like to think it's like a moment where she comes dangerously close to realizing she's an adventure game protagonist. It's like if she knew, she would just use her powers of her infinite pockets to do all
Infinite
kinds of wacky
pockets.
things.
What do we do inside a new place?
We listen for monsters.
After that? Come on, you remember. We... Inside a new place? Check
Check
the
the
windows.
windows.
Would I survive as long as Clem has survived in this
I
world?
think that too.
I know for a fact I would not have survived.
Do you think you would have survived?
I like to think that after spending so much time with this character, I at least have like a better chance of survival. I think I'd do okay, but I have a 3-pound chihuahua whom I love with all my heart. So she might doom.
She might have killed some zombies, Rosie style.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, I love my
Yeah,
dog,
I know.
but
She barely has any teeth.
if zombies showed
I
up,
know, I know.
girl,
I just want to point out how great it was that Gideon just asked the same question that Violet asks in the card game later.
Oh, that's right.
Like, how long do you think you'd survive? Or who would die
Oh
first?
my
or something?
God.
First.
look at
I
that.
forgot.
Windows are all.
Little interesting design thing on the scene. We actually pretty late in making the scene decided to move the zombie couple inside the train station, so the choice would be presented this way.
Oh.
They used to be outside, and it used to be like technically the same choice existed. If you went out, they used to be outside where the skull was found. And so if you went out there and checked thoroughly, you would know you had another option for getting into the booth, which was a cool idea, but in execution, it felt like most people would just go into the door and miss that entirely. So they wouldn't even know that they had 2 options here. And we kind of needed something to present as a stark moral choice in the scene, so we reshuffled the pieces to move them inside pretty late.
I bet this opens the lock. That's not happening.
This part made me kind of like sad. You know, the couple like strapped themselves down and they
Yeah.
put the key there because this was their place, and
Yes.
yeah, they wanted to leave this world together.
Holding hands in their own home.
I like the stuff the season plays with regarding the like. I feel like if the zombie apocalypse went on this long, people would start to view the zombies as like an afterlife you can see. Like it's an idea that we kind of play with in a lot of the season, including like the James stuff. Like
Right.
it's like if there literally were the undead and there are religious people, you think they would look at that and be like, well, that's got to be like a mid-step or something, right?
Would you? I always think about this though. Like if I was turning into a zombie and I knew I got bit,
Do we get the key?
I don't know if I'd want to sit there forever and be a zombie. I'd rather just like
just
off
go.
myself.
Go.
You know.
Big question
If I
of the
got
season.
if I got bit, bye bye. I wouldn't want to be a zombie. No way.
It looks really stressful.
It is. They're just sitting there. She's like biting at it.
Yeah.
They seem chill. Look, they got
Yeah.
a nice view.
If I could just sit
Such
for
a
eternity,
nice
I
view.
would
Such
do
a
it.
nice view.
I would love to sit there
They
for
got all these
eternity.
beans.
That's why I became a game developer, so I could just sit for eternity, basically. I was directing live action. I was like, I just want to sit down.
Oh my god. You manifested your dream.
This is a fun little Easter egg I'm pretty sure most fans have noticed, but all the locations on this card here are locations from previous seasons. There's like Macon and Richmond.
Oh,
and
nice. Oh.
There's Wellington up there.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
cute.
So it's not actually like, doesn't make any sense that the train here at this location has stopped at all those places, but it's just for the sake of the Easter
It
egg.
makes sense to us.
It makes enough sense.
Too small to crawl through. Well, for me. The key or the window. Those are our options.
It's dark in there. We should kill the monsters. They're not people.
Well, they used to be people. And as people, they ask to be left alone.
So what's best?
I'll get the key. I'm sorry.
Come on.
Double stab. Well,
Thank you, Murder Baby.
Murder baby.
He approves of my stabbing. That's nice of him.
Sorry it had to go this way. Huh. They had a good thing going here.
Can we stay here?
We'll see.
No one's here. No one's ever anywhere.
There actually was a really detailed backstory for this that you could uncover at some point.
There
in
one
the
point that we had
design.
like a letter you could pick up and read.
Yeah.
I remember
From
that.
them?
They had
From
actually,
them, yeah.
it was like addressed to somebody who had left their little encampment here, and if they'd come back, it explained like why they killed themselves, and it also warned you that the trap was
Oh wait,
rigged.
do I remember that? Did I read that?
I don't think so.
Oh,
This was,
okay.
I think, before Kent rolled on.
Do I remember that?
I definitely remember that in a table read. I remember thinking the way it was written didn't make sense for how a letter would be written.
It was like, hey, dear Vern. I remember it was to Vern actually. Varum, the co-director, did that because it was from the Ernest films. There's always the off-camera Vern.
Oh,
was named
dear
Vern.
Vern.
Yeah.
Hey, Vern. Or,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
oh my God. Ernest goes to camp.
But it was like, dear Vern, here's a bunch of
movie ever.
exposition.
Well, in the final version, you can just tell their backstory is because if you look at this crib, which I noticed people miss too, you can tell that they probably lost their kid, and they couldn't take it anymore.
That
So-
was what happened in that bad note too.
Yeah. Now it's just implied with visuals
Might be
and
why they gave up.
artistic highfalutin storytelling instead
Highfalutin.
instead of a note.
Spoiled. Sorry, buddy. These are long gone.
Fuck.
You said it, kiddo.
Shit, fuck. Look.
Something under here.
I remember the environment artist got me so mad at me for putting this in
They
there.
had to move the bed.
Well,
yeah, that-
because the sheets don't move.
It's a
they,
floor
yeah,
door.
that is clearly one big solid
Floor door.
object.
Because that would have been so expensive.
A floor door.
Would have been so expensive.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it is. We could eat for weeks with this much.
Where'd that grenade come from?
Shoot.
Go! It's rigged!
It's rigged. Damn it. Oh, boy.
Yeah. I do like that Clem instinctively curls her whole self around AJ.
Wait,
She's a
yes.
good mom.
Is this shaking?
Yeah, it vibrates. The controller
Like, what is happening?
This is actually the first
For a second, I
Telltale
was like,
game
why
ever.
is the table shaking? Earthquake!
I don't know if that does anything to the recording. This is the first Telltale game ever that has vibration in it.
Whoa!
We didn't have that in our engine before. I forget why it wasn't possible, but this is the first season where it was really a thing, and it's like curated. It like vibrates at like the right times, and we had like designers going in and like messing with curves and stuff to like vibrate in time with explosions. It vibrates when you stab zombies.
Wow.
Oh, really?
It gets really detailed. In episode 3, there's stuff where you can feel Lewis's heartbeat when you're hugging him.
Can I just like... I'm
Wow.
Just gonna,
Sure,
but
it'll-
no, you're about to kill
Okay,
some
when I kill
zombies,
something,
so
it'll vibrate. So
I just have my fingers.
to visualize what's happening here, I'm holding a controller, and Gideon is gingerly touching it with several fingers.
This
Beneath
is
the
turning into a
analog
whole
stick.
nother conversation
Yeah.
at this point.
So I'm gonna stab this one. There you go. See?
Did you get some?
Ah, yeah.
It's like...
Yeah. Yeah, it's
That's
timed
what
with the actions.
That's
We're
what
gonna make a gamer out of you yet,
feeling
Gideon.
sounds like.
I love AJ holding
She's
him
gonna
down.
be at
Good
Best
job,
Buy
AJ.
right after this, getting her PlayStation.
Sounds like that one doesn't even deserve a stab.
Clem, look! The keys!
AJ! Buckle up!
Get out of here. It's trying to drive.
Press A! Press A!
I'm doing it.
The controller's probably going bananas right now, Gideon, if you want to touch it.
No!
Whee.
How did they survive that? That's so bad.
Seatbelts.
Really?
Yeah.
They're really effective.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
Okay, I need a Clem
Cameron's gonna
hat.
shoot down.
I need a Clem hat. That's the only hat I should ever be walking around with.
I agree.
If
On
we
my
keep saying
head.
that enough in this building, you might get one.
Hello, upstairs.
It's kind of interesting too because we're talking about this episode and all these people who worked on it. And when I'm not to bring up the big giant downer, but it's crazy because this is all part of this game company that no longer exists.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Well, you'll notice too, in this title sequence, we had a very strict adherence to titles in the title sequence at Telltale. And then when we got to episodes 3 and 4, when we moved to Skybound, we added people. Like Kent's name isn't in the credits until episode 3.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
Really?
it's listed very differently.
Interesting.
The nice thing in the Still Not Bitten credits too is I think it's just the entire Still Not Bitten team listed in alphabetical order of their last names, and like Brody Anderson was actually real big on like getting rid of like the title structure. That,
Right.
Like everybody has their roles and that kind of thing. It feels more fair, I think.
AJ!
I can't believe these kids' plan was to hold her down with tape.
Yeah. Okay.
children.
Yeah,
Let
how
me
they
just rip that
obviously
off.
haven't met Clementine.
That was just supposed to stop her if she turned. but
She's
still kind of-
Only if
dangerous.
she turned.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Good point. That wasn't like this'll hold her.
Yeah, they're not really. They're not really. And then the door is locked too. She has to pick it with art supplies.
Right. Spoiler
yeah.
alert.
Hey, Chris, you designed this scene. How was designing this?
I did, and you just shit all over it. So
Sorry.
thanks for that. No, it was fun. We both wanted to add a lot more puzzles back in to the season, and this one was fun because it was trying to think of like how to give you a bunch of conflicting imagery. Like you can find this scrapbook of kids, but you're also tied up and the door's locked.
There's bars on the windows.
So you're trying to.
Some creepy kids.
Yeah, well, one of them's you.
Oh, snap.
Did you know you were so creepy when you were little?
She looks creepy.
It's like we were trying to think of like the 5 years in, like Clem has been surviving the apocalypse. How does she feel about meeting people, right? So we're trying to like, in this one, it was like, how do you make you feel like Clem? You're locked in a room, but there's other things that make you feel like there might be something welcoming here. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like hopefully putting you in a conflicted space as to who your captors are. I don't know if that was successful, but that was the intent.
Also, with these like kind of quiet exploration scenes, so many of the previous seasons had kind of, especially like season 3 and season 2, got pushed to be like all dialogue all the time. Everyone's talking and it's constantly a movie. So having like these like quiet scenes where you just kind of get to poke around environment and just kind of soak in menace. I really like these.
Examine box.
Is
These
that?
I
is
love
that-
the stickers on this
Is
box.
that Minerva's?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, was Minerva the artsy? No, Sophie's the
Oh,
artsy.
yeah.
Oh no,
Sophie, yeah.
Sophie. Minerva's,
that's right.
and
So
that's
in theory-
Minerva's sister.
Sister.
Yeah, so in theory this is Sophie's box.
Okay,
It's
I remembered
Minerva,
it was
Minerva's,
one
Minerva's music and Sophie's art.
Okay, I remembered it was one of them, one of the sisters.
To be fair, they're identical twins.
Yeah, that's.
To be fair. So these walking around these scenes, I remember in season 2, especially when I was very first time playable character, that trying to make the, point and click on objects not sound totally like, oh, look, a screwdriver. Perhaps that will come in handy. It's interesting because there's so much of that in these games, and there's such a nuance to doing that without it sounding completely stupid. I basically just patted my own self on the back. Wow.
Good job, Melissa.
I did a really amazing job
You've really
with those
enhanced.
point and clicks.
You've really enhanced
That's
my
not what I
experience
was.
of
Yeah,
Clementine looking at some debris.
not what I was trying to say.
The
But
debris.
You want them in theory at best to get something out of,
right.
clicking on stuff.
Well,
and
still
not
a
just,
game. They have to
Yeah.
I clicked on that. That could.
But like the shittiest version of that is Clement clicks on the door and she goes, a door.
Yep.
But click on the door and you get
a
some
door.
character or something.
Oh my God, it's so crazy hearing you do her voice.
Nothing over here.
Well, Marlon's character used to be a lot different before you rolled on when his model was actually made. He used to be a lot more kind of bullying.
He's still bullying, but it's just secret now.
Yeah, it's just a secret
Right.
bully.
Right. Secret bully.
Drop the knife. Now.
You do the same.
It's a pretty cool introduction to his character and Ten's character, too. Ten was also kind of mute in earlier drafts of the script, right? So that's kind of why he doesn't talk very much in the scene, I think.
You'll drop that knife.
Yeah, even Marlon has a line that says like, "This is Tennessee." He doesn't say much or something along those
Until
lines.
episode 3.
Yeah, and
No,
then he
just
goes on to say
kidding.
so
Then
many
you can't get him to
things.
shut up.
Lower yours. I'll lower mine.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Well, and this would probably be a wonderful time to mention that Gideon and I, that's hard to say in one sentence. We also
Gideon the
could be
guy.
the bourbon, have not met each other until today, which is crazy.
Yeah.
We've recorded all these amazing scenes together, kind of in the
of
way you do in
together.
video games. So this is pretty awesome to be here with you.
I just hear your voice and respond. Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It makes me happy. I mean, I hope we get to do more stuff where we're hanging out.
I do
But
too.
I don't know. I've been waiting to meet you because clearly the fandom loves us together.
Yes, they
Loves
do.
Clementine,
Valentine.
Valentine. You know, we're pretty cute, so
We are.
we were really excited to meet.
So's your friend. I'm Marlon. That's Tennessee. But call him 10 for short. He's the one been taking care of you. He doesn't talk much.
Clementine.
Come on. Let's go see your boy. So you've been surviving out there a while, huh?
Yeah, we've been on the road a long time.
Take it you know how to handle yourself? Don't usually see people our age alone out in the wild,
Sure, I do what I can to get by.
no matter what. Hey, don't worry about it. We all do what we have to.
Who's that?
It wasn't easy getting you two out of that wreck. Walkers were on the way.
The car, was it totaled?
Yeah,
Fuck.
had to work fast. I don't know what would have happened if we hadn't seen the smoke.
I appreciate it.
All alone with the kid? Not a pleasant thought. I've seen some rough scenes.
Hi there? What's his problem?
You're just new. I mean, we haven't seen anything like you in ever.
What is this place?
You can probably tell it used to be a school.
Omar never says anything, but you know.
Does a couple of things, doesn't he?
It's
He
just
does.
more fun to see what the fandom does with him.
It is more
Apparently
funny.
he's
It is.
a cook god.
I'm almost happy we didn't end up giving him any lines because he became this huge meme in the fandom where he's like the god of cooking. And it's like him versus Gordon Ramsay and shit on Reddit.
What?
Yeah.
I need to watch. I need this. So much to see. Thank you to all those fans who do all this, put all this effort into those kinds of things, by the way.
I'm here for the fan art.
Amazing fan art.
Yeah, it's really good.
Amazing fan art.
Every time I get to work on something that actually inspires like creativity from other people, I feel very rewarded.
Totally.
Yeah.
Allow me to make it formal. Welcome to Erickson's boarding school for troubled youth. You and your boy, feels like you both fit that description. It's hard to survive too long these days without being a bit troubled.
You got me and AJ all wrong, Marlon. Couple of pure angels.
Jury's still out on you, but an angel your boy is decidedly not. He's been a little terror since he arrived.
Excuse me?
Let's just say he hasn't been happy without you around. At all.
Yo! Marlon! We got walkers on the fence!
Shit. I need to take care of this. Knowing Willie, it's probably two grandma walkers.
I remember we
and angry
specifically could not show Lewis in E3 footage because they hadn't yet figured out how to make his dreadlocks move. I remember distinctly where I had a meeting where I was like, so when will Lewis's dreadlocks move? And people were like, huh? What? And I'm like, oh my god, they need to move. We cannot show him to the world until his dreadlocks move.
Oh, man.
Follow the music. Check.
I need to real
Yeah.
quick talk about these diplomas of ass. This is my favorite stupid
Big ass.
joke.
That's actually what my diploma
Doctorate
is.
of
In
ass.
an ass?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Doctor of
The
ass.
Bachelor of Ass.
Wait,
I'm
what
a
was the other one?
bachelor of ass.
Doctor of Ass and
Oh, this
Oh,
is who
it's
I'm gonna
Ruby.
cosplay. I'm gonna cosplay Ruby at a
Oh, you could
convention.
totally
I
do
swear to
it.
God.
Yeah, if you dyed your hair, you could totally do it.
My hair is pretty red.
He's lucky I didn't take a boot to his head. Nearly took a chunk out of me.
I actually auditioned for Ruby first, and then Jack was like, "No, you're great, but I'd love you to read for Violet." And then I did Violet.
I didn't even know
But I
that.
auditioned for Ruby
I bet that was fun.
originally.
I remember hearing you as Violet, and it was just like, clearly that's Violet.
Yeah.
You had like this voice that was like, I remember Joe Muller, or VO, like head of VO, saying like, Gideon has like an accent, and it sounds like it's from somewhere, but we don't know where it is. And that's like perfect for Violet.
You know what? That's so weird because so many people ask me if I'm from not here.
Right.
And I'm like, what accent do I have? And they're always like, I don't know. Do I have an accent? I think I sound like a valley girl.
No, you have. Yeah, you have some like
Okay.
Are you from California?
non-regional.
Yeah, born and raised valley.
You do have a really unique sound to your voice.
Well, my dad's German, my mom's from New York.
Maybe that is
Mix.
That's the mix.
I think Rivers mentioned
crazy.
before there were really early versions of Violet where she had like a thick kind of country accent.
Well,
yeah, actually,
Violet did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I auditioned. One
Which makes
of my
sense why you auditioned for
auditions, I
Ruby
was
because they're
like,
kind of similar if that was what we were
in
going
the
to do.
casting sheet, she was from West Virginia. I don't know if that's
West-
canonically correct or
no,
not.
yeah.
Interesting.
And
The final season
actually-
takes place in I don't know what state,
In the
canonically.
audition, I did it with a southern accent. Actually,
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
I did.
When we first see Ruby, it was like that little motherfucker. And my favorite moment in the booth with you, Melissa, was you doing the impression. Yeah. I remember everybody lost it because you just nailed it perfectly.
Don't ever do it.
Loud and clear, little man. Thankfully, I was here to calm him down with my alluring music.
The dreads.
The dreadlocks are.
They
Honestly,
move.
Moving around.
Lewis is real cute.
He's handsome.
Lewis is goddamn adorable.
Marlon left your bag in here somewhere.
Don't worry, I've got it.
Sterling.
Sterling
Another
Suleiman.
person I haven't met yet, which is
Who
crazy.
I haven't met. I
No,
know.
we don't meet anybody.
super nice.
Yeah, he did an amazing job.
I guess we might not know that most voice actors don't record their stuff together. I think-
Yeah. If
think
you
for this-
guys think that, that's not the case. None of us ever
It's
record
very
together.
rare in video games.
Does he know what that is?
It's dirty.
Clean it.
Maybe later. Back you go.
Where it belongs.
Dude, that can't be a good idea. That thing's bigger than him. Is it actually loaded?
It's my gun, so it's my rules.
Our gun.
Our gun.
Just when you think you've seen it all. You guys do your thing, I guess.
You don't know any others?
Well, there is one. But you're armed.
Oh,
Okay,
here
we
it
get
is.
it.
We get it. You're
This,
gorgeous.
by the
Oh
way,
my darling, she's mine. She's mine.
He like really belts at it. He does not fuck around with this song.
this was technically a nightmare to get to work.
Yeah, talk about that
To
for a
be
second.
able to like let the player choose what they want to say and like interrupt the song, like that the way that our engine works, that's not an easy thing to do, because it was you have to be able to hit the button and have like this immediate response. But the way this works, like, he has to keep singing, and we couldn't break the time, we couldn't break the piano, because it's all playing in the background, so this was a fucking nightmare.
Wow.
But
It feels
turned out
seamless
pretty
in
good.
the final product,
Yeah.
and I remember it being hard. I remember being really awkward the first couple times it was put together. You press the button, he would like sing half a line or something, and it's like, we just can't do that.
That was the one thing I video recorded when we were in the VO booth, was Sterling singing. Sterling singing that
Yeah,
song.
he went
He's
for it.
incredible.
He did it like on the first try. I think we had to get him to sing less good. Like that was because like
Yeah, I'm
Lewis is not
saying
supposed
he
to be a
nailed it.
No,
professional.
I feel like shit right now because I'm thinking about the lullaby I had to sing.
Oh,
and
you
not
sounded
this-
so
You sound
sweet.
amazing in that. You sound amazing in that.
It sounded so sincere. Like it sounded really, really sweet and sincere.
I was so sad I couldn't make that VO session because I wrote that song with Lauren, the writer, and I was like, I want to be there for that.
Actually, you sounding kind
it
of
was
a
really
little
good.
bit imperfect in that makes it feel real because it
Yeah.
sounds like
Yeah.
Violet's character doing it.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't sound like a professional singer.
There's
doing
like a
it, 'cause Violet's not
vulnerability
supposed to
to
be a
it.
professional singer.
You up for taking out a few deadheads? You too, Lewis. Get your ass in gear.
Fine.
Hey, Rosie!
Oh, you're about to speak, Gideon. I love
I'm
these
about
first
to be.
lines.
I'm rude.
Selfishly, I
I'm
got to
Violet's
write
so
it.
mean here. It's great.
I'm so rude.
But this was like, I think I got to write this part for Violet, and it was mostly because like I was trying to think of how Violet would kind of like try to
Yeah.
flirt.
Seems to be a few more than usual these last couple days.
It's almost like something drew their attention. Something like, I don't know, an explosion or a car crash.
Bye.
What? Just saying. There's gotta be some explanation.
I don't think we've met. I'm Clementine.
Yeah, I know. Your kid won't stop talking about you. She's so mean.
So good.
It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice experience because you met Marlon and he seems pretty nice, and Lewis seems pretty nice, and then you meet Violet and she
Yeah,
just like
someone's
suddenly
gotta
put
have an
her
edge.
on.
Yeah.
But then that just
that's
makes
where
you-
they connect almost.
Yeah, it makes you want more. It makes you want to get through to her real center.
So edgy.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
it's
Lewis
Cheryl's.
is
Oh, God.
cute.
Cheryl's.
There's a story behind Cheryl's too.
Please tell it.
One of our cinematic artists, Jonah Huang, I'm sure I pronounced the last name wrong, but he had a second chair at his desk and he named it Cheryl's. And I was like, that's too good to not be in the game.
That's amazing.
Cheryl's.
And Lewis's weapon became a chair leg just by happenstance
Cheryl's.
because it was like, what's the weird weapon that we could give Lewis?
God.
Even though that leg is way too big to actually be from a chair.
Brilliant.
This is an episode 4 thing, but it's relevant. At one point,
Yes.
Violet's so cool.
So wing.
At one point in episode 4, we had a birthday party for AJ, and there were presents given to him by the other characters. And Lewis, in some branches, would give him a stool leg, and he would call it Cheryl's Jr.
Cheryl's
It's
Jr.
a fight to be called Cheryl's Jr. or Stulio. I remember debating that.
Stulio. Damn.
No, I like Cheryl's Jr.
tough
I like
call.
Cheryl's Jr. because there was a cut line where AJ said, "That's like my name, Alvin Jr."
Ooh. That's satisfying.
I love these impossible rock traps the children have put together.
Yeah.
How did they get those
that
up there?
And that's how you school a walker. There's a whole bunch of traps laying around this area for these asshats. They're all marked, so keep a lookout.
The rainbow puffy jacket from
That thing is
season
iconic.
2 is one of my favorites. I want one.
Does she have to break into a store and like get them?
You know, the
Or
puppy
you don't
jacket
see that?
we do see that given to her, but for the most part, she just
She just appears
happens.
with the clothing.
Yeah, appears
Yeah,
with the new
cool.
clothes.
Yeah, I don't know where she got this sweet jean denim
I
on
know.
denim on
Yeah, I was
denim
looking
look.
at that. I was like, damn, look at that design.
Yeah.
Girl.
One piece. Come on, we'll meet him halfway.
Oh wow. Honestly, you can learn so much from these games. Like the kick the leg,
Yeah.
get it in
You
the
see,
head.
this is all.
That's the trick she learned from Jane, season 2.
To be able to hold them off much longer.
No kidding. Where'd all these walkers come from?
We can talk when we're back inside the gates. Keep an eye out for stragglers.
I remember distinctly summarizing this bit. We added it later in the script to the
Violet's
entire
hot.
room full of people making the game, and I remember it being like Clementine going like, "Hey, you're pretty good," and Violet goes like, "Yeah, I know, but you're pretty good too."
Oh my god.
I was like, "Yeah, we're putting that in the game."
Let's finish these guys
Because we had to figure out how like the Violet character arc worked. Like, where do Clem and Violet sort of start to connect?
Kill.
And it's like she doesn't think much. She clearly is pretending she doesn't think much of Clem, but then Clem kills like 1,000 walkers. She's like, I guess she's cool.
Piece of shit. I hate this cleanup bullshit.
Fucking
Whoa,
awesome stuff.
Rosie.
Rosie rules so hard.
Rosie. Love her.
And this is a nice continuity with Clem from the previous seasons having had a horribly traumatic experience with dogs in the second
Sam.
season.
He was hungry.
Yeah, there's a dog that bites Clem's arm in the second season.
Sorry, girl, sorry.
Animals do not get infected with the virus.
Okay.
They actually say in the comic the giant tiger Shiva eats walkers
Shiva.
because they just don't have enough meat to feed it, which makes me go. Because I actually at one point was like, wait, how does Rosie live? Okay, she probably
How
she
is
can eat
that
walkers.
fair?
And
How
they
is that
feed-
fair?
I don't think the walker meat is inherently infectious on its own. It's just disgusting.
No,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
blood, I feel like the blood, like the head juice.
I don't think, yeah.
The magic
head
of
The head juice.
All the head juice.
How'd it go out there? How do you think it went?
Be nice, Asim.
Safe stone's nearly dry. I could barely find enough for tonight. We're gonna have to scout out further if we want food for the winter.
Here's where the flirting contest begins
I
between
know,
Lewis
right?
and Violet.
Right now. I said later, damn
And I get both. I know that Violet was the most popular choice. But I can see, Clementine also
It's
needs a
pretty
laugh.
even.
Pretty even. I think Violet's
Yeah.
a little bit bigger.
Oh, I thought
I know.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, look at this. Love triangle right
Look at
there.
that right there. I think I like the most about Lewis and Violet. They both feel totally valid as romance.
Right,
options
it's
for
not
Clem.
like,
Yeah.
oh, come on, man.
Yeah, you can
No.
choose to have sort of fun times, or you can choose to have a badass lesbian warrior.
Plus.
I know.
You're both delusional.
Yeah, okay, so that's all we're going to look at 401 because we want to see the finale of the season because that's got a lot of stuff to talk about and react to. So, everybody ready to move on?
Yes.
Super excited.
I
Sweet.
guess.